What's up guys, and welcome back to Gabe Miller Music. Today I'm going to be making music with Loopcloud 5. This is a sponsored video by them, but I am pretty excited to go ahead and check this out. I'm going to be making at least one beat from scratch here using as much of their stuff as possible. So for those of you unfamiliar with Loopcloud, Loopcloud is kind of an all-in-one platform for working with samples. And this is something that'll be interesting for me to dive into because normally my workflow is very much compositionally based since I'm working with stuff like the Novation circuit. This workflow is quite a bit more sample based. So the way this works, you have a subscription model that you're on. So let's jump into this. I have here a search term open, and I'm going to get a little more specific on it in a second. Essentially, they've got a gigantic library of 10 gajillion sounds from pretty much every label you can imagine. I believe you get some free sounds if you sign up, and then they also have a free trial, which I'll leave a link to in the description. So I'm going to go ahead and start off and bring in, let's try some house drums. I've been in a housey mood lately. I've been listening to a ton of that kind of stuff. Not quite what I want in life. So do note as I browse through these, I don't have to buy any yet until I actually decide to use one. So right now I'm just demoing stuff, kind of seeing what works, seeing what I feel like using. It's kind of nice. File that away for later. That's what I want in life. Alright, so they have this 8-track editor here. So essentially what I can do is audition a bunch of different sounds layered on top of each other, and then I can bring them pretty seamlessly into my DAW. Today I'm using Reaper because my Mac is kind of on the fritz. I think it's on its last legs, so I'm on my Windows computer today, doing this a little differently. So now I've got track 2 loaded up with this playing in the background, and I can load in another sample, maybe try this kick. I like that first half. Go ahead and control-click to drag this out. All right, let's try this. I'm feeling that. That's a solid start. Let's keep building. Maybe try this one. I like that, though. I might end up doing that. Yeah, let's go with these hats right here. So basically, just very quickly building up kind of a basic idea here. Maybe some kind of clap. Kind of tight. And by the way, in case you hadn't noticed, one thing that I do find extremely useful is the fact that it'll immediately time stretch all this stuff when you bring it in. So you don't have to worry so much about what tempo your loop is, or if your particular program's time stretching algorithm isn't the best. Logic's kind of sucks. I'm not really familiar with Reaper's yet. We'll get there. That is a really solid start for drums. I might try to bring in some bass here, just like a simple bass line. The key on that's all wrong. I wonder if I can just straight up. All right. That's a little more what I was going for. Let me clear this one. That's a pretty solid start. I'm going to go ahead and bring all of this into my DAW so I can go ahead and just buy all these files at once. And you've got your like preloaded up sound credits up over here in the corner. So now I can go ahead and just download all of these. You don't actually download anything until you're actually using it. So let's see if I can just drag this straight into Reaper. And it's a couple days later, gonna finish up working on this track. Off camera, I did a couple more things. I first of all played around with Loopcloud's built-in effects, removed some high-end and added some overdrive to the main bass. I also added a couple of vocal samples and one kind of whoosh sample, and then finally brought all that into Reaper. So this is what we've got so far. So off to a pretty sweet start here. This is definitely a solid basis to build a whole track out of. So I want to do a couple things, add a couple of things, and do some processing on what I've got to kind of get it where I want it to be. So the first thing I'm going to do is mess around with LFO tool a bit. The main thing I want to do for this loop, so this, is to emphasize the kick. I like all the background kind of percussion and sound effects, but they're a little bit much for what I'm going for. So I'm going to try to see if I can just emphasize the kick here. So here's without bring the kick out. I already did cut a bit of lows on this other kick, so you got that functioning more as a tom. And then for this bass, the lows are a little much, probably cut some of that, make it a little more reasonable. And then the big thing, of course, duck this in time with the kick. And pro tip, moving this forward a little bit can help get rid of that clicking sound. So now, that grooves quite nicely. That's pretty tight. So that's in a really good place. I'm almost ready to arrange this, but I want to try to add one or two more things here. I'm going to jump into my instruments, and this is showing off something that you get along with your Loopcloud subscription, and this is Loopcloud Drum and Loopcloud Play. So I'm going to do Play today. This is essentially a rompler with a ton of different presets in here. You can even separate it out by genre. So there's a classic house one right here, which is perfect. 10 presets for that. So there's a certain patch that I actually saw in a tutorial when I was like getting ready to make this video. I think it's this one. There we go. I love this sound. I really do. Sick. Okay, so let me draw in some MIDI notes here. There we go. There we go. And there we have our full loop. So I've definitely got plenty here to flesh out an arrangement. So essentially what I'm going to go ahead and do is select all these tracks and then copy them out a whole bunch, and I'll do that some more later, and start like adding and removing elements and do some automation. So I'm thinking I'll probably do some automation on those vocal chops, maybe bring in some highs. I'll probably do some kind of automation for the low end with the drums. So yeah, I'll deal with that in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and arrange this whole track, do a little more fine tuning with the mixing, and you can hear the final result right now. Alright, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to Loopmasters for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to get a 30-day free trial that you can cancel at any time of Loopcloud, you can click the link in the description and go check it out. I recommend it. And this is not the first time I've worked with this company. They're also the company that owns Plugin Boutique, and I did a video with them, so if you'd like to watch that with your face, you can click or tap up over here somewhere. And if you'd like to subscribe for more videos, you can click or tap up over here. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with a new video next week. Peace!